Hello Saxo fans, welcome back. Episode 15. It's been a while since I've done any filming. Genuinely feel like I've had a bit of a break from the car for no particular reason. I went away for a weekend, so that obviously puts any progress on hold. The weather's been really nice, so it's been nice just to sit outside and enjoy the garden and spend time with the family and stuff like that. So the car's taken a bit of a back seat. But there's a couple of other reasons as well. I wasn't entirely happy with everything that I'd done before. So number one, I'd fixed in the roll cage, I'll put all the bolts in, obviously all loose, and some of the actual bolts themselves, I didn't actually plate any of them, but I did run them over the wire wheel just to get any muck off. But I could already see there's a few spots of rust coming on those, you know, and you could see it from the inside of the car, and I was just not happy with that, so decided to take them all back out and plate all of them. So I'm still working my way through them because obviously they take a while, but I've done most of the bolts to fix it to the floor. So and unloaded already the nuts that I hadn't done. So that was probably 2 or 3 days worth of work. But you know, not worth showing. You've all seen the zinc plating stuff. The other thing you probably see here, the dash. I wasn't convinced about the flocking that I'd done. I was convinced I could do it better. So I used some of the door cards that were in the car that when it got delivered, when I bought it. I'm not going to use these, but I thought they're just good practice pieces. So I used both sides to sort of keep perfecting the techniques. So effectively what I did was, I'll show you. So first of all, sourced another dash and all its associated parts to have another go. Obviously that takes a bit of time as well. But this is obviously the flocking kit that you saw in the flocking special, and it takes a little 9-volt battery. And if you put this on the multimeter, it puts out up to, when it's fully charged, 20 kilovolts, I think. So yeah, a tiny amount of voltage really. And if you look at some of the more professional kit, that's way more expensive than what I paid for this. They're obviously plug into the mains have got better and bigger feeds. So I had a little dig in, took this apart effectively just to see what was in it, and it's nothing special. So I thought, well, that's a 9-volt battery. Why not use a 12-volt battery? And obviously I've got the vehicle battery, so I thought, yeah, let's just give that a go. So you hook up a vehicle battery and it makes like 30 kilovolts. So it's much better. Obviously puts out a greater voltage, which obviously means it will cover the area better and the physics behind it will work better. So effectively took out the battery out of here and just put a direct feed into where the battery connects to, but to 12-volt instead. And you can tell it has a greater effect. The attraction of the fibres to the negative is much greater. So I felt like I was in a better position to do the flocking. So I've done a whole new dash, and obviously cleaned it all up, degreased, and done all of that process, everything that you saw before, but just using 12-volt rather than 9-volt. And it has come out a lot better, albeit still not exactly perfect, and it's not, the professional finish that you would pay 300-400 quid for. But I'm happier than what I was with the first one that you saw in the video. So that obviously took up a load of time, and obviously taking that one out, putting the new one in, all that kind of stuff as well. So, by the way, that one's for sale. So if anybody wants it, I'm literally just looking to recover my costs, not looking at making any money. So the cost of the dash, all the associated bits, the glue and the flock and all that kind of stuff. So I'll put it up for 100 quid. So if you want it, get in touch. You can have it. Yeah. So it's a good dash. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I say, the flocking is just not perfect, but it's still good. If you're going to go rallying or just on a track day car or something like that, then it'd be spot on. There'd be nothing wrong with it at all. So I've been doing that as well. Right, next. So what we're going to do now is carry on with the interior. I have been doing some other stuff as well. I've laid in the battery cables. I've made up a little template and a little plaque in the dash for the battery voltage meter, battery cut-off switch and the window switches. I'll show you that in a bit. But you saw that I bought in the seats. So, I really wanted a set of Cobra Suzuka Pro, I think that's what they're called. I had them in my last car, I had them in my Focus RS. I had a set of Cobra Evolutions in my old supercharged Saxo, same shell, just with a wraparound bit on your head. I really wanted a set of those, but being brutally honest, by the time you put a set of mounts on them, it's 600 quid each. So 1,200 quid odd, plus delivery. That's just mega money for a set of seats. I don't need them to be FIA approved or anything like that. I'm not taking this competitive racing, so I'm not interested in any of that kind of stuff. It just needs to be a good seat. So I bought from Motorsport Tools online, I think they're a company based in Wales, a set of Motomex GTO ones. So crucially for me, I'm trying to show you this, it's difficult up here, but they've got high leg support on the side. So this bit here is nice and high in your leg. So anyway, I've got a pair of those. They are literally half the price of the Suzukas that I really wanted. And they're dead comfy. I've sat in them, both in the car and in the house, for a little bit of time. And I'm really happy with them. They're dead nice. They feel nice. The finish is good. So I'm pleased with those. Now, when I got the roll cage powder coated, I also sent the seat mounts off to be powder coated because they had that horrible, nasty finish that was in the rest of the car all over them. So I had them stripped and powder coated again, just in black on those. I put the seats in, mounted them up, and realised I'm sitting just a bit too high, just not happy with that. So I want to lower the seat mounts. I'm going to try and use the original OMP mounts I've got, but I'm going to cut them up. So I bought some 4mm steel, which is the same thickness as the current OMP mounts. So I'm going to make some new mounts effectively out of the old ones, cut them up a little bit, re-weld them and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to do in this video. And I think that's about it. So I think first of all, let's go and show you the current situation with the seat in place. Let's get started. Okay, so I mean that's just in loose. I've not bolted that down, but it's difficult to see from on the camera. But you can sort of see how high these sit. Obviously, you've got the side mounts on there, and it's on the lowest position on the back. Albeit it could come down a bit on the front. It's got a bit of a gangster lean on it at the moment, but I can change that. But obviously, with that mount and the OMP mount below it, it sits a good sort of 2 or 3 inches higher than I'd perhaps like. And while it's not probably an issue for the passenger, I think when I'm in the driver's seat and I've put that over there, it's perhaps not quite right. So what I'm going to do is I'll have a go on the driver's side first. I'm going to effectively cut this mount up, drop the centre part of it where the seat will mount down pretty much as far as it will go, a couple of inches maybe, and then obviously I can mount the seat on it as normal. So let's take that out, get it marked up, and yeah, do some cutting. There we go then, one seat mount complete. You can see roughly how much it's been lowered. Quite pleased with that. It's come out all right. So, on to the other one. Let's get it going. Okay, I think I'll just show you this. I unpacked the other seat, just stuck it on its mounts, and you can see the height difference between the two. You can see how much I've lowered it, so I'm pleased with that. I haven't done it really for like centre of gravity reasons or anything like that. It was purely as a driver. I felt like I was sat too high and I wanted to experiment on the passenger one first before I dived into doing the driver's side. But I'm pleased with how that looks. So I'm going to go do the other one now. Right, next up, I want to cover these empty panels here. Just think they look a bit unsightly. So I went online, had a little search around and found a company online that do specific items for these. These are them. So they sort of fit in like that. Now I'm a bit undecided on these at the moment, because what I was hoping for was that the actual recess itself, where I was hoping that this card would sit in this recess. I don't see any reason why they couldn't. It's not perfectly like a flat surface, so I guess the whatever it's made out of would have to be flexible like this is. But these seem just a bit like, let's just cover the hole. I'm going to have to drill some more holes in the body. There's no holes to mount it to down here, a bit flappy. So to be honest, I think these are really poor. And I paid about 85 quid for these delivered. And I just think they're a bit naff. So I was hoping to show you these in this video, but actually I'm going to send them back and I'm going to make my own. So the first thing I need to do is to make up some templates. So I'll do that now, and then I need to try and find some material because I want to send these back. I could use these, but for the price I paid, it's ridiculous really. But yeah, that's what we're going to do next. So on to the templates. Okay, transferred that to a more stable sheet of card. Had to go to Hobbycraft to get it, but it was well worth doing, I think. So I've marked all the mounting points that I'm going to use, the holes. So overall I think there's about 7 points, as opposed to the other ones that I bought were, I think, 3 just on the top here, so they would have just flapped around. And then to mount them, what I'm going to use, these are a great little thing, these are called well nuts, and they are rubber mounted with a brass thread inside and just a little M5 nut. These are used for fairings on motorbikes and stuff like that. So they take a 9.5mm hole, so I need to open up some of the mounting points because these won't go in, and then just to stop them coming out I'm probably just going to put a tiny dab of the silicone-y stuff, Tiger Seal, on those, let them go off, and then obviously I can screw straight into them and screw the panels down. That's the plan. So first of all I need to open some of these up with a 9.5mm drill. So let's get on with that. Okay, rear door cards done. Happy with how they turned out. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to flock them or not. Might do, might give it a go. If they turn out really nicely, then that'd be great. If not, then doesn't matter. I've got plenty of material. I've got enough material to make about 30 door cards. Don't know why I ordered so much. Anyway, really pleased with the seat mount. It's not worth putting the seats in until the cage and stuff like that in. The seats will be the last thing to go in. I've already got the harnesses that came with the car. A set of really nice TRS harnesses in great condition, so I don't need to buy any of those. So finally, I think the interior is going to come to an end. I've probably got about another week's worth of work on little bits and bobs to tidy up, but nothing worth filming. So I think the next major thing that I'll be filming is probably on to removing the front suspension and getting all the arches done. So until then, thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.